Hello, good evening. I'm Ashani Gamagi with Prime TV News. We take a look at your headlines first. President says everyone should stand together to overcome the economic crisis. Prime Minister reveals that a large sum is allocated for education, health and social development. All arrangements are being finalized for the final ceremony in Kandy with regard to the Tripitaka Abhivandana Week. Human Rights Council lauds political dedication in Sri Lanka. The rupee further strengthens. And in news overseas, death toll in the China chemical blast rises to 47. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has said that the government was allocating a large sum for education, health as well as social development.
The Prime Minister expressed this view at the annual convocation of the Institute of National Social Development Institute. Postgraduate diplomas, bachelor's degrees and diplomas were awarded at this function. Among those who joined in this occasion were Minister Daya Gamage and Deputy Minister Ali Sahir Maulana. Further expressing his views, Premier Wickremesinghe said that social service on one hand in the past was considered as a part of the health sector with regard to children, women and the helpless. At present, there is a separate sector on children. With developments taking place in society, advice and support are needed for every sector. He queried as to who is providing them. The Prime Minister said that as a government, they had to spend a large sum to repay loans. The Prime Minister said that as a government, they had to spend a large sum to repay loans. Another part had to be spent to pay salaries of public servants. But with the balance funds, attention was directed to the social sector. If so, fund had been given to education and the health sectors. Now they have to go to the next space.
All arrangements are being finalized for the conduct of the final ceremony in Kandy with regard to the Tripitaka Abhivandana Week with the participation of 5,000 Buddhist monks. President Maithripala Sirisena will present the proposal to make the Theravadi Tripitaka a World Heritage on this occasion. Religious programs are further being held in view of the Tripitaka Abhivandana Week in the island as well as abroad. The religious program organised by the Kandy District Secretariat was held under the patronage of the Kandy District Secretary Tissa Karunaratne. A special Dhamma sermon Pinkama was held at the Ministry of Highways and Road Development and Petroleum Resources Development Ministry in this respect. A group from the Buddhist Society of the Ministry participated in this Pinkama. An alms-giving Pinkama will be held on behalf of the Buddhist monks at the Eastern Province Governor's Office under the guidance of the Presidential Secretariat. Alms were offered to 100 Buddhist monks at this Pinkama organised in Trincomalee. In view of the Tripitaka Abhivandana Week, an alms-giving Pinkama was held under the patronage of the Sabaragamuwa Provincial Governor Dhamma Disanayaka. It was organised by the Sabaragamuwa Provincial Council. A Tripitaka Abhivandana commemorative Pinkama was held at the Hunupitiya Ganga Rama Vihara under the auspices of Minister Ravi Karunanayaka. A special Dhamma sermon was delivered by senior lecturer, the Venerable Thaldena Arya Dhammathera. A group of ministry officials joined in the occasion. A special conference organised by the Sri Lanka High Commission of Canada was held in that country. The conference, which dealt at length on as to why the Tripitaka should be a World Heritage, was attended by a group including the Sri Lankan High Commissioner in Canada, Ashoka Girihagama. The United Nations Human Rights Council has, without a vote, adopted the consensus resolution on Sri Lanka which proposes to give more time to Sri Lanka to fulfill its commitments for reconciliation and transnational justice. Accordingly, Sri Lanka has 2 more years to implement the 2015 resolution. Foreign Affairs Minister Tilak Marupana said the Sri Lankan government considers the resolution mandating an extension of 2 years until March 2021 to make further progress on human rights, reconciliation and accountability as a mark of recognition of Sri Lanka's political commitment and the progressive steps already taken by the government since 2015. Minister Tilak Marapana pointed out that Sri Lanka's open and constructive approach towards the work of this council is well acknowledged. They had engaged with 7 core treaty bodies and had also facilitated 8 visits by special procedures for mandate holders and independent experts, resulting in a total of over. They had engaged with 7 core treaty bodies and had also facilitated 8 visits by special They had engaged with 7 core treaty bodies and had also facilitated 8 visits by special procedures for mandate holders and independent experts, resulting in a total of over 1,000 recommendations for expeditious implementation by Sri Lanka. The minister said they have to set their priorities right and are committed to finding innovative and pragmatic solutions to protect the country's national interest and the well-being of all Sri Lankans alike, guided by the provisions of the supreme law of the land, the Constitution. Sri Lanka's co-sponsorship of this year's resolution assures all concerned persons, the Sri Lankan society at large, and all their interlocutors outside the country that they will continue to move forward within these parameters to ensure eventual closure. Minister Marapana welcomed the assistance and cooperation received from partners as required and invited the OHCHR to engage closely with the relevant local institutions and independent bodies, including the National Human Rights Commission, in verifying facts on ground, which will help OHCHR to provide more objective and realistic assessment on the progress made in Sri Lanka and on its genuine challenges to this council next year. The minister concluded that Sri Lanka takes this opportunity to appreciate the efforts of the members of the core group and thank all members of this council for supporting a consensus outcome today. President Maithripala Sirisena has emphasized that it is the responsibility of everyone to dedicate themselves to building the country, overcoming the economic crisis by standing together on behalf of the country. The president laid this emphasis joining in the closing ceremony of the Puttalam district Ekatasidimu Stand Together for the Country. The closing ceremony of the Stand Together for the Country project was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena at Puttalam District Shakti Sports Stadium today. The ulterior motive of Stand Together for the Country project is to make the special projects of the President, the other national development projects by different ministries, as well as social welfare projects to be conducted effectively and efficiently to reap more benefits for the rural people and at district level. The programs include the drug prevention program conducted under the guidance of the President, which is the National Development Project, the National Program for Protecting Children, and the National Program for Environmental Conservation. The first district project of the program started on the 18th from the Puttalam district, covering 16 divisional secretariats and all 32 Gram Ledari domains of Puttalam district. Services were provided to give solutions to issues related to the education, health and vocational issues. Services were provided to give solutions to issues related to the education, health and vocational sectors by the different public services to the community. Thus, drug prevention programs, kidney diseases prevention programs, environmental conservation programs and other special programs are being conducted at different places in the district. Many programs, including the handing over of wheelchairs to disabled persons and self-employment kits, also took place parallel to this event. Minister Gayantha Karunatilaka, Northwestern Governor Peshala Jayaratne and parliamentarians Palitharange Bandara, Hector Apuhami and Victory Anthony joined in the occasion. Meanwhile, the President opened the Puttalam District Smart Lanka Vocational Guidance Institute this morning. The President also opened the Puttalam Urban Council Auditorium. This auditorium has been built from grants of the National Policy and Economic Affairs Ministry and the Ministry of Home Affairs. It is equipped with all facilities. The Appeals Court today ordered to take up for consideration on the 28th of June the writ petition filed against several persons on the illegal clearing of the Vilattukulam Reserve located near the Vilpattu Reserve. This petition has been filed by attorney Nagananda Kodituaku and journalist Malinda Senimiratne against the several parties including Minister Rishad Badiuddin and former Minister Basil Rajapaksha. The petition has mentioned that both of them are slated to contest the presidential election scheduled to be held in 2020. Measures have been taken to further expand the branch network of the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation. The state Osusala network is being expanded based on short and medium-term plans on the instructions of Minister Rajitha Senaratne. Initiatives have been taken to provide an Osusala to every district and electorate under the short and medium-term plans. Accordingly, the Osusalas for the Mathale and Dambulla towns will be opened by Minister Rajitha Senaratne next Monday. Plans are afoot to open Osusalas in towns such as Kagalla, Badulla, Ambalangoda and Darga town. Evidence is now being recorded for preliminary investigations with regard to complaints lodged with the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Parliamentarian Vijayadasa Rajapaksa is scheduled to be summoned before the Presidential Commission to record statements with regard to several complaints made by him. Specialist Dr. Damayanti Piris recorded statements with regard to procedures including the ordering of medicinal drugs for the Maharagama Apeksha Hospital. Petitions have also been filed against former ministers Nimal Siripala de Silva, Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa and Duminda Disanayaka, as well as Minister Sagala Ratnayaka and former Transport Ministry Secretary Nihal Somavira with respect to corruption and malpractices. An official of the Presidential Commission said that many important information has already been given by the people with regard to corruption and malpractices of senior officials of state institutions. This officer mentioned that the public are displaying a keen interest on the decision taken by the President to appoint this Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Examinations Commissioner General B. Sanat Pujitha has said that the General Information Technology Examination conducted under the online system for school examinations for the first time in the country's examination history had been very successful. This examination was held from the 11th to the 18th of this month at 655 computer centers. The number of candidates that sat the examination was 186,000. The Education Ministry said that teachers who are engaged in the teaching of the subject was able to gain wide experience on the conduct of the examination under the online system. The program was launched on a recommendation made by the specialist committee appointed by Education Minister Akhil Viraj Karyavasam in 2017. And that's all the news tonight. Log in to itnnews.lk for the very latest. I'm Ashani Gamage signing out with Prime TV News. Good night.